Before you walk away from her, watch this first. Most men quit too early. They assume the battle is lost before the war even begins. She's becoming distant, pulling away, not responding like she used to, and it feels like the end. But what if I told you this moment is actually your greatest advantage? What if, instead of giving up, you could shift everything in your favor, without chasing, without begging, and without sacrificing your self-respect? Most men never realize this. They react too fast, too emotionally, too desperately. And that's exactly what pushes her away for good. So before you decide it's over, watch this video. Because if you apply what I'm about to share, you'll put yourself in a position most men never reach. Let's dive in. 1. Why she's pulling away in the first place. Most men panic when a woman becomes distant. They assume she's lost interest, found someone else, or just doesn't care anymore. But the truth runs deeper. Women don't just wake up one day and stop feeling something. It fades over time, in stages. Here's what's really happening. She stops feeling the chase. When she first met you, there was mystery, excitement, and challenge. Now, she knows exactly how you feel. There's no unpredictability. She tests your emotional control. Women subconsciously want to see how you handle shifts in emotions. Do you panic? Do you overreact? Or do you stay composed? She needs space to feel something again. Attraction isn't built on words, it's built on distance, tension, and emotion. When something is always available, it loses value. And this is where most men go wrong. Instead of pulling back, they push harder. They text more, call more, try more. And that's when attraction fades. Because if she doesn't have to work for your attention, she won't value it. 2. The silent test you never noticed. Most men miss this completely. When a woman pulls away, it's often an unconscious test. She may not plan it, but her instincts are watching. She's asking herself, is he emotionally strong enough? Will he chase, or will he hold his ground? Does he actually have options, or is he just pretending? And here's the dangerous part, most men fail instantly. She ignores them. They text again. She takes longer to reply. They ask if everything's okay. She cancels plans. They scramble to reschedule. Every reaction confirms one thing: she's in complete control. But the men who pass this test, the ones who truly stand out, do something different. They don't react emotionally. They don't chase. They don't beg for answers. They simply hold their ground. And that's when she starts feeling something unexpected: regret. 3. The power of controlled distance. Here's what most men don't understand. Women don't fall in love with gifts, they fall in love with absence. The less you give freely, the more she values what she gets. Think about it. When something is always available, you stop noticing it. But when it's gone, you start craving it. That's why pulling back at the right time is your most powerful move. Instead of texting first, wait. Instead of liking her posts, ignore them. Instead of rearranging your schedule, prioritize yourself. Because when you stop being predictable, stop being too easy to reach, and stop reacting instantly, everything shifts. She starts noticing your absence. And suddenly, she's wondering, why isn't he reacting? Did he lose interest? Is he seeing someone else? The moment you stop giving freely, she starts missing you. 4. What to do instead of chasing. Most men try to fix this situation. They think, if I explain myself, if I show her how much I care, she'll come back. But attraction doesn't work that way. Instead of trying to win her back with words, do this. Match her energy. If she's distant, don't overcompensate. Pull back. Stay neutral. If she reaches out, respond, but don't overinvest. Shift your focus. Hit the gym, work on your goals, make plans without her. Not only does this make her take notice, but it also protects you. Because the goal isn't to make her chase, it's to see if she cares enough to come back. 5. When she comes back. How to handle it. Most men make one big mistake: they let her back in too easily. She disappears for a week, then suddenly texts, "Hey," and what do? They jump at the chance. Wrong move. Here's what to do instead. Stay calm. Don't act like her message is the highlight of your day. Make her work for it. If she left, she needs to prove she's serious about coming back. Control the pace, don't slip into old habits. Let her feel the distance before giving her too much attention again. If you do this, she'll respect you more, because now she knows she can't take you for granted. 6. If she never comes back. Read this. Here's the truth you need to accept. Not every woman will come back, and that's okay. Because if she pulled away and never returned, she just saved you from wasting more time on the wrong person. You don't want a woman who stays only when you chase her. You want a woman who stays because she values you enough to choose you. So stop waiting. Focus on yourself. Because the more you chase someone who doesn't want to be caught, the further they run. And the moment you stop running, you'll realize you were always ahead. 7. The power of your silence. Here's something most men will never understand. Silence is one of the most powerful responses you can give. Most guys think they need to argue, explain themselves, or fight for her attention when she pulls away. But the truth is, silence speaks louder than words. It creates mystery, uncertainty, and shifts emotional power. At first, she might not even notice. She assumes you'll be back. She expects you to check in, send a text, try to fix things. But days pass. Then weeks. And suddenly, she feels something different. Now, you're no longer predictable. You're no longer the guy who always checks in, always waits. Instead, you've disappeared from her world. And that creates a void she never expected. It forces her to do something she never thought she'd have to: reevaluate her feelings for you. 8. Why women underestimate you until you go silent. Most women assume men will always be available. They believe that no matter how much they pull away, you'll still be there waiting. And why wouldn't they? Most men do chase. Most men can't handle distance. But when you break that pattern, when you choose silence over chasing, it disrupts her expectations. She starts wondering, wait, why isn't he reacting? Why hasn't he reached out? Is he actually moving on? And those thoughts? They trigger something deep inside her. Suddenly, she's asking herself a question she never expected. Did I misjudge him? And that one question, it creates a wave of emotions she wasn't ready for. 9. The moment she feels your absence. Here's what most men never witness, because they give up too soon. At first, she feels fine. Maybe even relieved. She assumes you'll reach out soon. But then, silence. No texts. No calls. No likes on her posts. Nothing. Days pass. Then a week. She starts checking her phone more often. Still nothing. And that's when it finally hits her. She's the one feeling uncertain now. She's the one wondering if she made a mistake. Because now, you're no longer chasing. And that changes everything. 10. The unspoken rule of attraction. Here's a truth most men don't realize. A woman values you based on how hard you are to replace. When you are always there, always available, she never had to consider losing you. But now she feels your absence. And that feeling? It's unsettling. She starts wondering if she took you for granted. She starts questioning if she misjudged your worth. And the best part? She doesn't even realize she's doing it. It happens naturally, subconsciously. Because when something is always available, it loses value. But when it disappears, it becomes a mystery. And mystery creates attraction. 11. Why? She suddenly starts watching you again. Once silence sets in, she does what most women do. She starts watching. She checks your online activity. She scrolls through old messages. She might even start liking your posts again, just to see if you'll react. But why? Because she's trying to figure something out. Did I actually lose him? And that question, it keeps her mind locked on you. Because the moment a woman thinks she might have lost a man who was once devoted to her, emotions start stirring. It forces her to reevaluate everything. And that's when she truly feels the weight of your absence. 12. The subtle signs she's testing the waters. Here's where most men fail. The moment she throws out a test, they take the bait. Maybe she sends a random "hey." Maybe she reacts to your post. Maybe she texts about something meaningless. But it's not meaningless. It's her way of asking, "Are you still there?" And if you respond too quickly, too eagerly, you give her the answer she wants. Now, she knows she still has you. And just like that, the game resets. She realizes she can get your attention anytime she wants. And once again, she loses interest. 13. How to handle the moment she reaches out. When she finally reaches out, most men think they've won. She's back. Now I can act normal again. Wrong. This is the most critical moment, because how you respond now changes everything. You have two choices. And the second option? That's what keeps her interested. Because now, you're not the same guy she once knew. Now, you're a challenge. And women crave challenges. 14. The ultimate mindset shift. Here's what you need to understand. You don't win a woman over by chasing her. You win by becoming the kind of man who never has to chase. by having standards, by valuing your time, by making her prove she deserves your energy. That's when everything changes. Because now you're in control. Not through manipulation, not through games, but through self-respect. And that's what separates the men who get played from the men women can't forget. When your silence becomes unbearable for her. At first, she brushed it off. She assumed you'd come back. That you'd eventually give in, send a message, try to reconnect. But now she feels something unexpected. Your absence isn't just an inconvenience, it's messing with her emotions. She checks her phone, hoping to see your name. She rereads old conversations, wondering if she missed the signs. And as time passes, doubt creeps in. Did I push him too far? Was I wrong about him? Is he really gone for good? The secret most men never understand. This isn't just about missing you. It's about power. She realizes she doesn't have the control she thought she did. And that drives her crazy. She starts looking for you in other men. Because when people can't have what they want, they look for it elsewhere. So she texts old flings, seeks attention from new guys, posts online, hoping you'll react. But here's the truth she won't admit, none of it feels the same. Because the second she starts comparing, she loses. No matter who she talks to, you're still on her mind. You became a mystery, a question she can't answer. And the more she tries to move on, the worse it gets. Why? Her ego won't let her admit it. Women have two sides when they miss someone. The emotional side, where she feels the regret, the longing, the loss. And the ego, the part that hates to lose. Her ego won't let her admit she was wrong. It won't let her be the first to own up to her feelings. So instead of being honest, she plays games. She might send a random text like, "Hey, hope you're doing well, hoping you'll take the bait." She might start posting about how great her life is, just to see if you react. But inside, she's hoping you're still watching. She's waiting for a sign that she still has your attention. And when you don't react, that's when the real battle begins. Detachment, the one thing that breaks her ego. Now she's questioning everything. Because suddenly, you're the prize. This is the moment when everything flips. She realizes you weren't just another guy. You weren't someone she could string along forever. You weren't someone who would wait forever. And the painful part? She realizes it too late. Because now, you've changed. You've grown. You've become the man who no longer waits for her validation. And in that moment, she finally understands what you knew all along. The real power was never in her approval. It was in your ability to walk away. Because now, she's no longer in control. You are. And she's the one left wondering, will she ever get another chance? What to do when she comes back? Here's where most men fail. When she finally reaches out, they fall right back into the trap. They respond too quickly. They act too eager. They give her exactly what she wanted, validation. And once she gets that validation, she disappears again. That's why you can't play this like most men. If she comes back, stay grounded. Act like a man who isn't fazed by her return. Don't drop everything just because she texts. Don't make her the center of your world just because she's interested again. Don't fall back into the same patterns that made her take you for granted in the first place. Instead, make her work for it. Because if she truly values you, she'll prove it. Not with words, with actions. And if she doesn't, then you just won the game. Because you finally realized you never needed her in the first place. Final thoughts. If she let you down, don't beg. Don't chase. Just level up. Focus on yourself. Keep moving forward. And let your silence speak for you. And if this video helped you, make sure to like, subscribe, and check out the next video on the screen. Because trust me, it's exactly what you need to hear next.